right hand. Please stand.
Oh, sorry.
Do you solemnly state that the testimony you may give in the cause now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Please have a seat and please stand. And for the record, say and spell your first and last name, please.
Jessica Sementilli, Gessica Sementilli.
Thank you.
May I proceed?
Good morning.
Ms. Sementilli. I'm going to have to ask you some questions. I'm sure this is uncomfortable for you, but I'm going to try to get through the questions with you, okay?
Okay.
All right. First of all, how old are you today?
I'm 26.
Okay. And are you the daughter then of the defendant? You see your mom in court?
Yes.
And your dad was Fabio?
Yes.
And then do you have a sister?
Yes.
What's your sister's name?
Isabella.
And how old is she right now?
24.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you some questions about the day your dad was killed. And if you need any breaks, let me know, okay? You okay?
Yeah.
All right, let's get through this. You guys had moved to Woodland Hills from Canada like around 2010, is that right, as a family?
We moved to Tarzana first, then Woodland Hills, but yes.
And you ended up then at the 5012 Queen
Yes.
Victoria? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I want to talk about that day. Starting in the morning, if you could just walk us through the morning. You remember that day, obviously. If you could walk us through the morning, do you remember what time you got up about?
I think I got up around 11:30, 12, and I know I went to the gym with my mom that day.
Okay. So when you got up and you went to the gym, that was around like 11:40 or so you left
Yes.
for the gym?
Yes.
I know the court reporter is going to turn around and look at me because we are talking over each other. So I'm going to ask a question. I know you're probably nervous. Just wait so that she can type my question and then she can type your answer, and I'll try not to cut you off too.
Got it.
Okay. So you woke up around 11:40 and you went to the gym. Now, when you got up, who was home?
Mom, Dad, me.
And where was your sister, if you know?
School.
So at that time, was your sister in high school?
Yes.
And how old was your sister at that time?
16, 17.
Okay, and how old were you?
18.
And were you in school?
I was in community college.
Okay, so you were home with your mom and dad in the morning. Do you remember anything about the morning? Did you see your dad that morning?
Yes.
Can you just tell us what you remember?
He was sitting at the island working on his computer in the kitchen.
And then you decided to go to the gym?
Yes, with my mom.
So you guys both went to the gym. Who drove to the gym?
My mom. No, me.
All right. And what kind of car did you have?
A red Mustang.
If I may mark as people's 229, a photograph of a red Mustang. Is that your car,
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
Okay. So you and your mom left for the gym in your car around 11:40 or so. And what gym was that?
LA Fitness.
Okay. Is that a gym you'd been to before?
Yes.
Were you a member there?
Yes.
And you knew your mom to be also?
Yes.
Okay. What were you going to the gym for? Obviously, were you going there to work out?
Yes.
All right. Tell us what happened when you got to the gym.
We got to the gym. We went on the treadmills. We worked out our legs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you know, you did the workout then, do you know, back then, did you know who Rob Baker was?
Yes.
Okay, did you see him at the gym that day?
No. We saw her trainer, Matt.
And People's Sport team, Rob Baker?
Yes.
Okay. So you did a workout and then did you leave? How long were you there?
Not even an hour.
Okay, so if you left around 12:43, you've seen video in court, does that sound about right?
Yes.
And then what happened? You went straight home?
Yes, we went home.
Okay, tell us about when you got home, if you can walk through who was there and what happened.
When I got home, it was me, my mom, and my dad. I left with my friend Sahar to pick up kids that she was nannying because she didn't want to go alone. And then I came back, and it was just Dad.
Okay. Now, by the way, when you're at the gym, you said that you're on the treadmill and you did legs. Your mom didn't play racquetball.
No.
And you didn't play racquetball.
No, I never played.
When you got home, you saw your dad. What was your dad doing when you got home? A little around like 12:45, 1 o'clock, that time frame.
Working on the computer in the island kitchen.
He was still at the same
Yes.
place?
Yes.
And then you left again, is that what you said?
Yes.
Where did you go?
With my friend Sahar to pick up kids that she was nannying at Hale Middle School.
And do you know what time that was?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember, but it was immediately when I got back from the gym, and then I came back right after that.
All right, so when you got home, your dad was at the counter. Did you guys have lunch or anything?
Yes, he made me lunch.
Okay. And your mom had lunch with you guys?
No, she left at this point.
Okay, do you know where she went at this point?
No, she said she was going to run errands.
Now, if you got home at about, let's say you got home closer to 1, right? And then does it sound right you went to pick up the kids about 2:30?
Yeah,
Had your mom left before you left to go pick up those kids?
I don't recall.
Okay, but she went to go run an errand.
Yes.
Did you see her again that day?
No.
Okay. So she left before you ever left to
Yes.
go pick up the kids. So you went to go pick up these kids and you came back. What time did you come back?
In time to leave for babysitting at like 3:40, so.
So you were gone less than an hour?
Yes.
And when you came back, where was your dad?
At the island kitchen,
What was he doing, if you remember?
working on the computer.
Do you know anything about a power washer that day, him fixing or taking a power washer in to be repaired?
No.
Do you remember telling the detectives that in February of 2021 that he'd been trying to fix a power washer over the weekend? Does that ring a bell?
No.
Okay, that's okay. And then your dad had a Porsche, right?
Yes.
Had he just gotten that Porsche?
Yes.
Where did he keep it?
In the garage.
And where did you park?
I parked on the street.
Where did your sister park?
In the driveway.
What did your sister drive at that time?
A red Fiat.
And then what was your mom driving during that time?
Either the Fiat or Dad's old truck.
Is that the F-150?
Yes.
Okay. And by the way, when you come and go from your house, how do you exit your house?
Through the front door and through the gate, but the gate to the house is almost always open.
And which gate are you talking about?
The front gate to the house, it's almost always open. We just close it at night.
All right. And then do you also exit through the garage?
No.
One moment. Okay, so you came back then, and then when you came back, you left to go babysit. What time were you supposed to babysit?
I think at 4:30.
So you left around 3:40, you thought?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
For her to type. All right, so walk us through then. You went to go babysit. What happened then?
I went to go babysit. The mother, Deborah, left to go run errands, which is normal when I was babysitting. And she came back very soon after, maybe 30 minutes to an hour, and told me to go home right away. And she wouldn't tell me why. And so I just left.
What time was that about, do you know?
Probably 5:40.
And who was this that you were babysitting for?
Deborah Obad's child, Max.
And how did you know Deborah?
She was our neighbor when we first moved to California in Tarzana.
Was she good friends with your mom?
Yes.
Was she good friends with your dad?
Yes.
And then did you know her fairly well?
Yes.
Did you guys ever socialize with Deborah Obad? Or Obad?
Yes.
What about, was she married?
Yes.
And who was her husband?
Mike Campler.
So would you consider them good family friends?
Yes.
Now, after everything happened, and I'm talking about your mom's arrest, did you end up living with Deborah?
No.
Did you ever stay with her?
Yes.
And how long did you stay with them?
A night or two.
Okay. All right. So that night then, on January 23rd, 2017, after you're babysitting at Deborah's, you haven't been there very long, she comes back and tells you, what, you need to go home.
Yes.
Did she appear to you worried, upset?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ask her why or what's going on?
Of course.
Okay. What happened?
She wouldn't tell me. She told me to go home, and they'll explain it when I get home.
So what did you do?
I went home.
How long did it take you to get home from Deborah's house?
Not even 10 minutes. She lived very close.
So shortly, would you say after 5 you arrived home?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Did you park? Where did you park?
On the street.
And walk us through then what happened when you got home. Where did you walk in?
When I pulled up to the house, I noticed all the fire trucks, and so I parked. I walked towards the house. I noticed the garage door was open, which was not normal. And I walked to the garage. All the firemen are there, and one of the firemen just said, "Your dad's dead." First thing I heard, and I walked inside. They told me not to look outside or look at the kitchen, and I didn't. I kept my head down, and I walked into our dining room, which was adjacent to the kitchen. And Mom's in shock, and Bella's not talking, and no one's telling me what's going on.
Okay. I'm sorry to go through this again. We'll try to get through this. The firemen told you that outside?
Yes.
So when you went inside then, you saw your mom and your sister. Where were they?
At the kitchen table.
Okay. And what were they doing?
Mom is inconsolable, screaming, crying. Bella's not speaking.
Okay. Now, what did you see as far as the scene?
I didn't see anything. I kept my head down, and we were in the living room, or the kitchen table, the dining room. There's nothing to see there.
Okay. Did you see some blood in the house? We won't talk about outside.
On the floor, I saw a little bit when I
Okay.
kept my head down.
Did you see any on your mom?
No.
Did you tell the police that you'd seen blood on her hands?
No.
You didn't tell the police that?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Would looking at a transcript refresh your recollection on that, possibly?
Okay. Sure.
Okay. And I'm going to move on while I'm talking to you. What did you do then when you sat down?
Just asking questions to the officers what was going on. And they kept saying they have no answers for us.
Okay, so what happened next, and how long were you inside?
I'm going to be honest, I don't really remember the rest of that night at all. I remember going to the neighbor's house across the street because they told us we couldn't be in the house anymore. I don't know how long after that was when I got home. And then I remember being interviewed a million times after that at the neighbor's house.
So what neighbor's house did you go to?
Her name is Vanessa. I can't remember her husband's name.
Now, did other people arrive at the house when you were there with your mom and your sister?
Yes, I had my friend Sahar come. My sister had her boyfriend at the time come. And Mom had her friend Elise come.
One moment. So, who are those friends? Can you describe who those friends are?
My friend Sahar, I knew her from school. Isabella's boyfriend at the time, she's from school, and Elise was from the gym.
Okay. Now, you knew Elise pretty well?
Not pretty, I just knew of her because I saw her at the gym, and I did a yoga class with her once.
Okay, and at that time you really liked Elise, and it was your mom's friend?
Yes.
Okay. What happened then as far as when you went across the street, what happened?
I was interviewed by the detectives that were
Okay.
there
What did they ask you?
to run through the day and questions about,
What had happened?
Yes,
What
yes.
you'd done that day?
yes.
Okay. Now, did you ever have any like crisis team people come and talk
Yes.
to you or anything like that?
Yes.
When did that happen?
At the neighbor's house.
After that, did you ever do any counseling or any kind of therapy, anything like that to date?
I didn't, Isabella did.
Did you just choose not to?
Correct.
You didn't want to do it?
Right.
Okay. Now, before you went to your babysitting job, do you remember your mom just texting you, "Don't be late," and kind of going back and forth with that?
I don't remember it happening that day, but she always did that.
Texted you about your babysitting appointments?
If she knew about them, yes.
Okay, so she knew you had a babysitting appointment.
Maybe. I don't know about that day. Sometimes she knew, sometimes she didn't know.
Well, if she texted you, "Don't be late for babysitting," then
But I'm saying I don't know if she texted me that day.
Okay.
If she did, then she knew, but
Okay.
I don't remember.
typically it's something you told her.
Not typically. Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Okay, so, one moment. And your friend Sahar came over then when you were across the street with the neighbors?
Yes.
Now, where did you sleep that night?
At Deb's house.
That's Deborah Obad?
Deborah Obad.
bad. All right. I want to ask you some questions then about your video surveillance system. So you had a video surveillance system in your house, right?
Yes.
And that was cameras that were hooked up around your house?
Yes.
Now, do you know if those cameras were working during the time frame of January 2017?
Yes.
They were working?
To my knowledge, yes.
So inside your house, you had a monitor that sat on the kitchen?
It was inside the garage, right outside. Once you open the door from the kitchen, on the right-hand side, there was the monitor there with the VCR for the cameras.
Okay, so I'm talking about the actual screen where you
It
could
was in the
see-
garage.
And did you have it in the kitchen at one point on the counter?
Not that I remember.
Okay. And in the garage, actually where the Porsche's parked, you had the DVR boxes there on top of that, kind of a white,
Yes.
like a refrigerator or cabinet or
Yes.
something?
And the monitor was on top of that.
When you knew that the monitor was on top of that?
Yes, that's where we went to go look for the cameras. It was never inside the kitchen that I remember. It was always inside the garage, the monitor.
Okay. I'm going to show you a photo in a minute. I'm talking about in your kitchen, there's a counter, and then there's a big monitor. You don't remember that being in your kitchen?
No, I remember like maybe at one point it was, but I remember that most of the time it was in the garage.
Okay. Was that after, are you remembering that after the murder happened, it was put in the garage?
No, because it was gone at that point. So no, it was before. At some point it was in the garage. Maybe at some point it was inside the kitchen, but
Okay. Do you recall being able to view your cameras when you're in your house or your garage, wherever
Yes.
you believe it to be? You could view the camera footage from the outside around the house.
yes.
Okay. So then the day of this, as far as your DVR system, did you have access to it on your phone?
No.
Did your, do you know that you could access it from a phone?
Yes.
Did your mom have access to it on your phone, on her phone?
Both mom and dad.
And how did you know that?
Because when they came to set it up sometime in 2016, I was there, so I heard them talking about the app that it was connected to.
You heard who talking about it?
The person setting up the cameras.
And who was he talking to?
Mom and dad.
Okay. You remember your mom and dad being there?
Yes.
Okay. And he was explaining how to set up the cameras on your phone to view it on your phone?
Yes.
Okay. Did your mom then ever talk about being able to log in from her phone to view the cameras?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, had there been a time where she saw you on camera and commented to you that she saw you coming or leaving or something like that?
No.
Okay. She just had mentioned that she could view it.
Yes.
Okay. Now, as far as that system, after this happened, you never, to your knowledge, set up a new camera system, right? Meaning you never reinstalled them, plugged them in, got the cameras working again.
Correct.
Okay. Did you ever, to your knowledge, get the cameras working again or plugged in again or whatever, a new DVR box?
No.
Now, did that make you concerned knowing what had happened in your house?
No, because the detectives said that it was a knock-knock burglar and they wouldn't do it again, so I wasn't worried.
So you weren't afraid?
No.
Okay. What about going on the back patio? You said the day of it, you didn't go out there and you didn't see your dad, right?
Correct.
Now, did it concern you at all about the back patio or going out there, anything like that?
After the fact?
Yes.
No.
You weren't concerned?
No, I felt close to my dad when I sat outside there.
Okay. Is that a place that your dad hung out a lot?
Yes, all the time.
And did he have his, we've talked about it, his favorite chair?
Yes.
Did he work out there a lot?
Yes.
And when did he work out there? Was it during the week or on the weekends?
If he didn't go to work for some reason, and I'd find him out there, during the day, or sometimes on the weekend. Sure, he's on his computer back there, but most of the time it was for watching TV outside.
Did he work from home sometimes?
Yes.
How often did he work from home?
Not often.
Did you know in advance when he was working from home?
Most of the time, no.
And when he worked from home, did he work on the patio then?
Or inside.
Sometimes.
Yes, depending on how hot it was.
Now, when you were there that morning, was your housekeeper there, Delia?
I've been, I know that she's there from transcripts and things I've seen, but I don't remember her because I was sleeping.
Do you typically see Delia there?
Yes.
And she comes on Mondays? Every other Monday?
I don't know.
All right. So, does she come every other week, basically?
I didn't know.
Okay. Had your dad then been home for the past every other week on Mondays?
Not that I remember.
You don't remember? Were you home those days, or do you not remember?
No, I was probably out.
I'm sorry?
I was probably out.
Okay. So as far as the alarm system, you never hooked up, what about your alarm system in your house? Do you have an alarm system?
Yes.
After this murder happened, did you start setting the alarm system?
Yes.
Okay, did you tell the detectives back in June that you didn't even know how to set it and you didn't set it anymore?
I didn't know how to set it, but the people who, like my aunt and my grandmother who came, they would set the alarm.
When they were there?
Yes.
I guess my question is, when you were there with you, your mom, and your sister, did you tell the detectives then in June of 2014 that nobody sets the alarm?
Right.
Did you kind of get to the point where you, as your immediate family, you didn't set an alarm?
Correct.
Okay, is there a reason why?
No.
Had you been setting the alarm before this murder?
No.
Didn't your dad set it at night?
Sometimes, but not all the time.
All right. Now, what about being home alone? Did you have any concern about being home alone?
I didn't.
When you say that, did your sister express concern to you?
Yes.
And what was she telling you?
That she was scared to be home alone and she didn't want to be, so to have us come home.
Okay. And at this point now, after the murder, are you and your sister close? Right now, let's say that.
Today, yes.
Were you close back then?
It was a very rocky relationship after the murder
Why is that?
because there was a lot of family fighting, so it was just
Okay.
hard on her, hard on me.
And she was 16 and you were 18?
Yes.
Okay, so it strained your relationship a little bit?
Yes.
All right. So she was afraid to be at home, but you felt okay?
Yes.
All right. Did you tell the detectives also back in June of 14th that if one of us is here alone, like we just don't like to be here? I mean, is that fair? You didn't really like to be home alone?
Correct.
All right.
But
And
not
then-
because I'm scared, just because I don't want to be home alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you tell the detectives also that we go somewhere else and we often go and sleep at Deborah's house? Did that happen?
Not often. We did not sleep at her house often. So I don't remember if I said that or not.
All right. So, but there was a degree of you didn't want to be home alone for whatever
Correct.
reason might be. I'm going to ask you some questions then about Rob Baker. Now, there was a time before the murder, back in 2016, where you saw Rob in your house, right?
Yes.
How many times before the murder had you seen Rob in your house?
That was the only time before that I saw him in the house.
Okay. And can you tell us well, first of all, was there a time when you found him in your mom's bedroom in her bed?
Yes.
What time frame are we talking about, if you remember?
I don't remember the time frame, but I think I was already graduated from high school. I was going to class or I was going to work. So that around that time.
2016?
Yes.
Okay. So in 2016 then, one day, can you explain what you remember happening, how you found him?
Yes, I went to my mother's bathroom to take mascara or something because I like to do my mascara in her bathroom. And I didn't notice anything, but when I came out, I noticed Rob in her bed.
And what time was that?
It was in the morning, so I don't know, 10, 11 a.m., maybe
Tell-
earlier.
Did you tell the police about 7 a.m.?
Maybe. Sure, if I was working, then that's 7 a.m.
Okay. Not trying to trick you, I just want to...
No, I just don't remember.
Okay. 7 a.m. you went into your mom's bedroom, right?
Yes.
And I say that because at the time, did your dad sleep in the other room?
Yes.
All right. So you went into your mom's bedroom, and what did you see?
I went to the bathroom first, and then when I left the bathroom, I saw Rob in the bed.
And you recognized him?
Yes,
How did you know what he looked like?
because I went to LA Fitness, and I knew that he was the racquetball coach, whatever, there.
Had you seen your mom playing racquetball with him before that?
Sure, yes, amongst other people, though, too.
Who else?
Elise, Faye, but there was a whole tournament. There was a whole league there, so a bunch of people.
All right. So you recognized him as being in from the gym. And what did you do?
I didn't say anything. I just ran out of the room and I called my mom.
Okay, and what did you say to your mom?
I asked, why is Rob in the bed?
And what did she tell you?
She told me that he doesn't drink often. They had a party last night. Her friend Sheila, I think, all came over, and he doesn't drink often. He got drunk, and so he slept it off.
Well, did she tell you that he and Sheila spent the night?
Yes.
Did you see Sheila there?
No.
Did you see Sheila there the night before?
I wasn't there the night before.
Okay. So you didn't see her. You don't know.
Correct.
All right. So this is what your mom told you.
Yes.
But that morning you didn't see Sheila. You just saw Rob.
Yes.
All right. And how did you know Sheila? From the gym?
Yes.
All right. What happened then?
My mom told me, and I had no other reason to believe otherwise, so I believed her.
All right. Did you say anything to Rob?
No.
Did he say anything to you?
No.
And did you just leave the room then?
Yes.
Did you ever see him leave?
No, I was leaving the house, so I didn't see him.
So when you left, was he, to your knowledge, alone in the house?
Yes.
Okay. And your mom was dropping off your sister at school? So when you left then, did she tell you not to tell your dad?
No.
Now, you said you weren't home the night before, but didn't you tell the police in February of 21st of 2017 that you heard your mom come home at about 2:30 in the morning?
At that point, I was home, but I wasn't, like, home for their party or whatever.
Okay. So let's back up then. That night, the night before you found Rob in your mom's bed, you were home that night earlier, or you were home at some point that night?
Yes.
Did you ever see any of your mom's friends come over that night?
No, I was in my room.
Around 2 o'clock, did you hear your mom come home?
If I said so back then yes.
Well, do you want to look, I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Do you want to look at a transcript to
Sure.
refresh your memory? All right, let me get that for you.
Council, what are you doing now? Let's take our morning recess for 15 minutes. The evidence applies. I'll see you back here in 15 minutes.